Hi, I'm Mrs. Lee, founder and teacher at the 7th Head Singapore. As PSLE nears, most students will be head deep in assessment books. With constant practice, they are able to score well for Paper 1. Yet, they become stunned by the ever-changing questions in Paper 2. To tackle Paper 2, it is not merely a matter of knowing the concepts, but to truly understand the relationship between the concepts. Let me demonstrate to you what I mean by this. Such questions are common in Maths Paper 1. Assessing the student's understanding of basic concepts. With enough practice, most students will have no problem answering questions like this. The child can easily convert a fraction into a decimal or into percentage. You may pause the video to look at these two questions carefully. You'll be surprised that many students might be able to answer one question but not the other. Many students tell me, "I'm not sure how to do question 2. I'm weak in percentage." Is their mind wired to feel percentage that seems harder to understand, especially since it's taught in upper primary, while the concept of fractions was introduced to them gradually starting from primary 3. Have you noticed? These two questions are in fact exactly the same. As students are conditioned to draw models since lower primary, this method is the most familiar to students. They draw 5 units as total and 2 units for LX. The 3 units left is the remainder. When we look at the 3 units, we cannot shade 1 out of 4 as the total number of remaining units is 3. So instead, we find that the lowest common multiple for 3 and 4 is 12. So I make it into an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 12. I then cut each unit into 4 parts so that I can make up 12 units in total. And when we finally have 12 units, we know that 3 of these units belongs to Beth and 9 units belongs to Cassie. We need to make the units for LX equal as well, so we cut each unit of LX into 4 parts, making it a total of 8 units. And then we put the value back in, and we can easily solve the question. Now look at this question. It is the exact same question as the question before. But when presented with this question, you rarely find students using the model drawing method to solve. Why? It's because they were never taught in school to link ratio to model drawing. How would a student solve this question then? They were taught to use the constant concept. In one set, the total units of Beth and Cassie is 3, while the total units in the other set is 4. So what do? We make them the same. We make them constant. The lowest common multiple of 3 and 4 is 12. Hence, we want both the value to become 12. We multiply the first set of ratio by 4 and the second set of ratio by 3. We now get new sets of ratio that can be compared directly. And we can easily solve the question again. What I'm trying to illustrate here is that students are sometimes bound by the limitation of their rigid practice. They know how to convert fractions from one form to another through their repetitive practice, but they fail to recognize that these two questions are exactly the same. A student is more likely to use this method to solve a percentage question than using model drawing. However, many students struggle with this method as it involves bigger numbers. They have to ensure that they get the multiplication of the percentages correct. Then some students get worried when they see $63 divided by 45. Because they can't process in their mind the value immediately, they start to doubt their answers. If they are able to just see that the percentages can be changed into fractions, they will realize the question becomes much easier to solve. Now, they even have the option to use ratio to solve the question as long as they understand the conversion and relationship between fraction, ratio, percentage, and decimals. There are many other ways in fact to solve fraction questions. Without drawing model in my class, students learn other methods. I tend to move away from model drawing as it is often more time consuming and can be confusing if there is a greater number of units. Basically, their drawing skills affect their answers just as much as their mathematical skills. During PSLE Final Lab, we're going to look at the basic key concepts and challenging questions. The 12 weeks online program is not a one-way lecture, but a two-way learning journey. Handouts will be provided so students can take notes and follow through the online classes. Students will also be receiving topical practice papers to assess their learning. Throughout this 12 weeks, a designated email will be open for participants to raise questions, and time will be allocated during the classes to address common questions. For more information on the program details and topics covered, check out our website or feel free to contact us. Let's sprint towards the end of the final lap of PSLE. Good luck and stay safe.